Good morning, everyone. Fox News alert overnight. Brand new raids under the cover of darkness. There may be another suspect in the San Bernardino terror attacks. Police want to talk with this person.
This is the feds begin investigating shooter Saeed Farook's online links to a known Minnesota terror recruiter named Mohammed Hassan. You're looking at a picture of that man right now.
And here are the breaking details from Redlands, California's Fox News contributor and former homicide detective Rod Wheeler. Rod, what do we know about this guy?
Good morning, guys. There's been a lot of activity occurring over the past 24 hours. The FBI is actually starting to really connect the dots now. And you know what? It's starting to make a lot more sense. Real quickly, let me bring you up to date on new information that I actually just learned. The FBI is saying now that this individual, Mohammed Hassan, you know what? This guy is a known ISIS recruiter. He was living in the state of Minnesota. Now, according to the FBI, when they conducted the raid, the search at the suspect's home, which is right here behind me the other day, they got information that this guy, Hassan, may have been in communication with Saeed Farook. That was the guy who was the suspect in the shooting last Thursday. In addition to that, there was another individual who possibly purchased the weapons for Farook, who lived in Riverside, California, which is only about 15 miles from here. The FBI raided his home last night. I actually went out there last night. I didn't go into the scene, but the FBI raided his home. They were able to get new information as well. Now, real quickly, the thing about this guy, Hassan, he's not living in the United States anymore, but the FBI has agents in other countries searching for this guy.
May be wondering why he's from Minnesota. There's been massive resettlement of Muslim refugees from Somalia in Minnesota, and for that reason, it's been a hotbed of ISIS activity. Tell us about the other raid. You said that the authorities gathered information in that raid. What kind?
That's right. Well, you know, they haven't said, Tucker, exactly what they got, but what they did, they were taking out boxes of information, bags of information, possible evidence. So all of these things they're actually going through this morning. They're sifting it through. A lot of it went to the FBI laboratory for evaluation. So I think as the day comes up here, we're going to learn a lot more about what was happening. One other thing, too, real quick, I want to share with you and the viewers. You remember the terrorist attack we had down in Garland, Texas? It's believed that this guy, Hassan, Mohammed Hassan, was the one behind that in terms of recruiting those two guys down there as well. So as you can see, this thing is really starting to open up.
Interesting. All right, Rod Wheeler, thank you very much for your report out there at the scene.
Sure.
The president will be discussing this topic tonight, and this is going to be a very rare occurrence for him, speaking from the White House, talking about this terror attack, but nobody knows what he's going to say. You have your theories.
Yeah, I mean, your point, though, that this is rare. The president speaks an awful lot, but almost never from the Oval Office. He's done it 3 times since he's been in office, the first for the BP oil spill in June of 2010, then a few months later to announce the end, the momentary end, it turned out, of combat operations in Iraq, and now this. He's come under an awful lot of pressure, including from Democrats, and you've got to believe from the Hillary Clinton for President campaign, to clarify what exactly his position is on ISIS. He sort of dismissed them with the back of the hand as the JV team and not a threat to America. That's demonstrably untrue. We're going to find out tonight, does he understand the nature of the threat? Can he say it out loud? I don't know, but I know he's going to call for gun control.
Hillary Clinton the other day, though, was quick to come out and call it terrorism. So while the president didn't come out and call it terrorism, Hillary Clinton came out and called it terrorism. So, too, did the Obama administration's head of the FBI, James Comey, came out and called it terrorism. So there seems to be a disconnect. Earlier on the show, we had Tim Clemente on. He's a former FBI special agent and task force member. And what he said was interesting. He said, this doesn't keep with the president's narrative that we are safer. So the president's going to have to walk this weird line tonight during this speech, telling us what he's told us only 3 weeks ago, that we're safer and that we are more safe than we've ever been before, that we're all going after ISIS.
That Paris was a setback.
That Paris was simply a setback in our fight against ISIS, and then also come out and reassure us that we are still safe tonight.
But this is a guy who just 2 days ago told us that the core reason ISIS is attacking us is because of climate change, global warming. They're mad about that. Can someone who just said that pivot and tell the truth, which is these are religious extremists motivated by a belief in their God to kill us and sometimes themselves? Like, that's a real threat. You know what I mean? Like, you can fix poverty, you can stop people from driving SUVs. Can you stop a religious threat like this if you don't understand it?
Well, you know, I have to say, as I was saying earlier, a couple of my friends who were Obama supporters and who voted for him, and yes, I do have friends that voted for Obama. I'm getting lots of tweets, little nasty tweets. They were saying that he's really lost them. They feel like they're tired of the wishy-washiness. They're tired of, hearing about Loretta Lynch showing up at the FBI presser on Friday to monitor essentially what was going on there.
Well, we saw the sound bites yesterday. We showed them here. Lee Carter from Ms. Lansky and Partners. We had the dials, right? You saw this straightforward speech from Donald Trump, and we saw the dials as he was speaking just go through among Democrats, independents, and Republicans, all three lines going up because he said, I'm going to go after ISIS. It was clear, it was definitive. And then we played a soundbite from President Obama, and it was really, the lines were at the very bottom, and what she said was, he just appears weak-kneed.
Well, and not just weak, he lectures us. They come to this country at taxpayer expense, kill us, and somehow we get the lecture from the president. Oh, you're driving the wrong kind of car. You have too many guns. You're a bigot. That's why they're doing this.
Well,
Americans keep that impulse under control.
I think Americans like when presidents apologize, come out and admit when they're wrong. Right? It's exactly what President Kennedy did, and taking the responsibility for the Bay of Pigs invasion. He said,
"I'm hard to ignore that."
Yeah, I said, "Look, it was my mistake on my watch. This happened on my watch," and his poll numbers went up as a result of it.
I was talking to somebody who said that, you know what, the fact that Donald Trump kind of does this us versus them, they like that. They don't want to hear the we when we're talking about terrorists and
well,
in the United States.
Because we're not responsible for it. That's why.
Well, Christina says this on Facebook. She says, look, we asked you to write in this morning. Christina says, he could say, I was wrong. ISIS is not a JV team. They are an elite terrorist organization, and we are going to blow them off the map.
Kurt on Facebook writes, I would like him to finally identify the problem. It's radical Islamic terrorism. Yeah, don't hold your breath.
Mary says, I want him to stop trampling on my Second Amendment rights. I want to hear him call these threats what they are, domestic terrorism.
That's right. So we're just talking about Trump and his response to all this. There was no wondering where Trump stands on the question. He was crystal clear, if vulgar. This is an actual tape of Donald Trump from yesterday. Watch this.
Oh, I would handle it so tough, you have no idea. You don't want to hear. You don't even want to hear. You don't want to hear how I'd handle it. I will get myself in so much trouble with them. We are going to handle it so tough. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to get it stopped.
We have a situation where ISIS has raised its ugly head again, and we got to chop off that head like they're chopping off the heads of our people.
You know, it's a whole big hoax. They want to die. They don't want to die. They talk about they want to die. They don't want to die. They're chicken, believe me. They don't want to die. No, they don't want to die.
Notice the hostility at them, at ISIS, and not at Americans for owning too many 12-gauge shotguns or whatever. I mean,
well, that's
the difference.
And that's what Ted Cruz, he released a new ad yesterday talking about going after the terrorists. So here is Senator Ted Cruz yesterday. Watch.
If I'm elected to serve as commander-in-chief, we won't cower in the face of evil. America will lead. We'll rebuild our military. We'll kill the terrorists. And every Islamic militant will know, if you wage jihad against us, you're signing your death warrant. And under no circumstances will I ever apologize for America.
We know he's smart because he's picking up on the temperature, he's gauging the temperature of voters and, of people here in the United States. And they want to hear terrorism, terror keeping our country safe is the #1 concern to them. It's not global warming.
No one's ever questioned Ted Cruz's intelligence.